Like we said, you're creating the space for something. You need to allow it room to breathe and grow. And I always like when you set an intention, whether it's within yourself or you're giving it to a higher power, kind of say, I desire this or something even better.
Yeah. Welcome to EnVibe Life Conversations with Amy Parker and Cheryl Dunn. By tuning in, you are joining a community that will inspire you to increase balance, wellness, and joy in your life. We'll offer expert information and insightful conversations to help us on our journey to live more EnVibe. For more information and articles, remember to also check out our website at envibelife.com. That's EnVibe.com. We're grateful that you're here. Hi, welcome to EnVibe Live Conversations with Cheryl Dunn and Amy Parker. I flipped that. We always do it the other way. We're coming to you today from Miraval for the second half of our two-part series, where on the last one, we looked back at 2020, at all of our reflections of it. And so today we're going to look forward at 2021. And the main thing we want to talk about today is setting your intentions for 2021 and maybe how that differs from New Year's resolutions.
I think the first reason we don't want to call it a resolution is just honestly, I think resolution or New Year's resolution has a bad rap. Like we all set those. I don't know how many times I've had resolutions that, and by the way, I may still have a resolution or intention this year of organizing 10 years worth of family photos, and I will probably have that resolution again for 2022 if the past 10 years
I'm not even going to put that one until my kids are out of the house.
Oh my gosh, I have so many boxes. I can't even walk through my storage. It's terrible. It's terrible. This is one of my, even I talk about decluttering and I talk about organization. This is my Achilles heel. Is those family photos and scrapbook items and things that are probably, it's like so overwhelming and also so important to me that I can't just go through it quickly. But anyway, that's my resolution that I always have and I always kick down the road and I never do. I know it can be a little bit of everything, losing weight or getting healthy or whatever, which I think these are all great. But we wanted to kind of get into a little bit why we found, and we spent some time talking about this, why don't resolutions stick or what's to do with resolutions? And so we actually went to the dictionary. We do this all the time. Like look up Merriam-Webster.com and what is and we looked up resolution. And when we read the definition, it became really clear what the issue is. And it's that it's something that's resolute. You know, it comes from the word resolute, which means very determined, kind of set in stone, ironclad.
Being determined.
Right, or resolute. And resolute to me feels very like this is set in stone and this is what it is. And there's a tight little kind of ironclad box around it and it's inside of that. And that really, as soon as I saw it like that, it became really clear to me why resolutions are so hard to stick, because life changes. We change. We need to allow things room to breathe a little bit. And so that's why and we did this just last night for EnVibe Life, set our intentions for 2021. We didn't even call them goals. We didn't call them resolutions, really kind of different ways to say it all.
Yeah.
But because our intention is to call them intentions, I don't know, it just kind of changes, I think, the emotional or spiritual resonance of
even
what
from the
we
word
did.
goals, because some goals to me sometimes seem things that might be unachievable, right? Maybe that's just my underlying perspective, but an intention is if something's my intention, then I'm going to figure out the plan. If I have to get from A to Z, I'm going to go through B, C, D to figure out how to get there. And that means it's not going to happen overnight. It doesn't mean that, there's the line drawn in the sand or that ironclad box around it. That's not it. I'm going to look at the steps and I'm going to work on them and I'm going to create
and that was the definition that it had for intentions, was more along the lines of an aim or a plan. And so that indicates there are going to be steps towards it. Or I kind of think, like, if it's an aim or a plan, it's something that you're also going to be infusing energy into, where that ironclad box doesn't allow much room into it or out of it for breath to happen or energy to flow. You know, another thing you said last night, I don't know if you remember this, but that you think of it as coming from your heart.
Yes.
If it's an intention.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. If it's an intention, it does come from your heart, your soul, a place of love where, you know, New Year's resolution is like coming from my Capricorn.
It's almost like what I ought to do.
What I ought to do. Right. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of what I'm capable of or what I want to do or what is in line with my soul's purpose.
Mm-hmm. And I think a couple other things to just think about this. Like we said, you're creating the space for something. You need to allow it room to breathe and grow. And I always like when you set an intention, whether it's within yourself or you're giving it to a higher power, kind of say, I desire this or something even better for myself.
Yes.
And so that's it too. With an intention, it may come out even better than what that resolute ironclad to-do list would have been.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. So let's talk about the tools for setting the intentions. And, you know, maybe we talk about our process that we went through last night.
Yeah, we can start by talking about our process. And I do think that this can be as unique as you are.
Totally.
Like, you know,
we just want to share what we did.
So here's what I'd like to encourage everyone to do. Think of this as a fun process. And so then what feels like it would make it fun to you, so that these don't feel like challenges in the way of, okay, I've got to get up early to get on the treadmill and roll up my sleeve. Approach the whole process in a way that seems like, even if these are challenging things for me, it can be fun to be in the process or energy of moving towards them. And so that's the first thing. So what's fun might be different for everyone. So I'll share one of the first things as we were set, and we have a couple things we're planning while we're on this retreat this week. And one of them was this, setting our intentions for 2021. And I am a super visual person. I love things that are color-coded and organized. And so that was one of the first things I did. I packed some pads, some big drawing pads. I bought some colored pens and markers, and I came equipped with kind of my play zone of things where I started pulling it out. And Cheryl was like, oh my goodness, are you kidding me? But then you love them.
I loved it.
I loved it. She was changing colored markers so fast. You wouldn't have any idea how much fun that ended up being for us. Just, we were doing a task while on vacation, and it was so much fun. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's just the silly little things. So let yourself have the silly little things. Yeah. That makes something fun or whatever.
Which I want to throw out another silly little fun thing is Amy putting sparkling water in wine glasses.
Yeah, we're not drinking wine.
She pulled out wine glasses really early yesterday, and I was like, oh, no, Amy, way too early. And then I was like, oh, good, she's just putting water in it.
So, and I actually wrote an article about this, turning the mundane into the sacred, something that it's just water. It feels a little more special.
Yeah.
In a wine goblet, doesn't it? And at its core, it's really, we're just drinking water. Yeah, which we're in the desert, so we've been drinking a ton of it. This just made some of it a little more fun or special. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think one of the things that I love that Amy is super good at, and I've copied her on it, that I think is a great thing to help with your intentions moving forward into 2021, is Amy does a little manifestation box. And she shared that with me one day, and I was like, I was like, why haven't you showed me this sooner? This is great. So
it's actually a recent addition to my arsenal.
She wasn't holding out too long.
and I did think of it as something being just unique and quirky to me. You know,
I stole it.
And Cheryl's the one who said, I think other people would really like this. I was like, I don't know. Let's see. So, and we've only done one podcast about the law of attraction. We kind of talk about it. We haven't talked about manifestation a lot. I know it's a hot topic, so maybe we can even get into manifestation itself more in 2021. All right, we have a new intention now. Talk about manifestation. But this is actually, it's rooted in teachings of Dr. Joe Dispenza. I've sort of modified it to myself. But essentially, the manifestation process that I am currently using is two-part. One, I write down, first, I guess it's three parts. One, this is what I desire. But then here's the two-part. Number one is, why do I desire this? And just list everything. If it's a new job, maybe it's greater financial abundance. Maybe it's, I want to love my coworkers. I want to feel more energized when I go to work. I want to have something closer physically to my home. I want to be able to work from home. I do not any longer want to work from home. So I want a safe environment where I can work away from home. Whatever that is, list them all.
All the reasons for that thing you want to.
Yeah. So first, why do I want it? And then number two is, how will I feel when I have it? And don't say if I have it, say when I have it, because trust that it will come to you. That's the faith part. Write down everything you will feel if you get it. Greater, for the job example, greater financial prosperity, so much more relaxed or relieved when my commute is lessened. Grateful for the additional time I'm going to have in my day. I'm excited for the new challenges to come my way. Love and camaraderie for my coworkers. I almost always put something about trust in the process or faith in the process, because once you get that, you're going to look back that you went through this process and be like, oh, so magical and so amazing that happened. But that second part is really the key. It's really the key to the whole process, because the way that first part then is how you really put that intention out into the field of unlimited possibilities, is by getting clear on what your intentions are, which includes why you want them. And then the second part, when you get your mind and your body in sync, feeling what it will feel like to have drawn that into you, that's what actually pulls it to you. And so this is, I think, the hardest part of manifestation for a lot of people to really get into. It was and continues to be the hardest part for me to learn to surrender to. It's that I need to feel those feelings right now, because it's in feeling those feelings that I will draw those feelings to me. So it's a little bit of a cyclical, logical paradigm, but once you kind of get it and figure it out, I mean, that's really, and there are a lot of tools even to do that. And that's what in another broadcast, maybe we can talk about vision boards and, all sorts of chants and rituals and whatever. There, again, as many different techniques as there are people. And I also love, Dr. Joe Dispenza has a couple of different meditations out there that are available for download, guided meditations you can listen to train your body to already feel that energy you're trying to call in, because you're really trying to call energy in. So again, that was a long story to say we did that exact process for EnVibe Life.
Yes. But I want to make it clear, because this is the fun, unique part about Amy too. Why we call it the manifestation box. So she takes a note card. This is awesome. I think people need to know this, because I feel like that this was a huge part. Because
you think that was too long that I went into that? Okay.
No, right. I think people needed to hear every bit of that.
It doesn't make sense if not.
No, they needed to hear every bit of that. I think that is so important. But the another piece of it that drew me, that makes this also a little different, is you're not just writing it down anywhere. She takes these little 3x5 note cards.
I cut them myself.
Oh my Lord.
I do.
I love that. Okay,
colored paper, of course. They're color coded, Cheryl.
I did not
miss
do
that part.
I just bought the little cards at the store,
which is great.
Yep.
Although I like them to be plain, not mine. But okay,
Cheryl's version.
Okay.
I did put the plain side on the ones. So on the plain side, this is what I did. I wrote what I'm trying to manifest, and then she draws this little bubble circle around it.
That's a Dr. Joe thing.
I love that
because it represents the energy field.
See, more to it. Completely enclosing it in this, okay? Flip the card over. This is where I liked the lines. Amy doesn't like the lines. And I just put, why, and write your things, what it's going to make me feel like. Your things, right? Yep. Maybe that's why you had to make your own cards, because 3x5 was really small for that. But you could get bigger cards, right? So then she has that. She uses that in her meditation, holds the card, I'm assuming.
I have it nearby. At least I read it before I begin my manifestation. I read the whole thing. Mm-hmm. My manifestation meditation, I read the whole thing, but then what I hold in my mind during the actual manifestation is mostly that symbol or letter or word I've associated with all of that.
Was that the thing on the front?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's good. I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. I thought you were going to say
that's a Dr. Joe technique.
Held the feeling.
Well, I do draw forward the feeling.
Okay, from just having the word or whatever you put on the front card. Okay, that's beautiful. So then after she's made this awesome little card, where it lives in between her meditations is in this beautiful little box, and she just puts them all in there. And when you showed me the box with this, I was like...
And that is uniquely mine. The manifestation box is my twist. And I got that from, I think a lot of people out there have prayer boxes. And I do too.
I love it.
And I bought new prayer boxes last year, and it came in a set of 2. So I had 2 of them. So I had one that I put prayer intentions in, and then I was looking for something to house my little manifestation cards, and I had this other box, so it just came about.
I just think that's perfect. I mean, I've never heard of prayer boxes. Mm-hmm. I actually leave the TV remotes in the box that I have.
And I actually think I have the boxes that I use in our shop. If not, I'll put them there. They're 2 little mother of pearl boxes. Easy to find. I'm pretty sure the link's in our shop.
Great.
And the way I make my cards, and so this is easy, I just take a normal size piece of paper and cut it in 4.
Not any paper. Equally. It's thick paper.
Well, it's kind of colored cardstock, but I mean, you can get that at your office supply for 500 sheets for $15 or something. I mean, I buy it to last me a couple of years when I buy it.
Yeah.
It is not, I don't even remember the cost, but again, I use it all the time, and it lasts me a couple of years. As much as I use it, it's worth the investment. Not a big expense. So I feel like that was kind of a deep dive into manifestation that could have almost been its whole other podcast, but that's how we approached our intentions for EnVibe Life for 2021. Mm-hmm. We went through the same process of intention setting, saying these are the things we want, and it wasn't just one for us. We had a whole big sheet of paper where we, and we did it in a very visual way, put the different things we are trying to call in or bring about, or our intentions, all on this side of the paper. And then we've also talked about, we actually haven't done a lot of the why. We need to go back and do that, but we did go through how we will feel when we achieve them or call them in, or however you want to look at that.
So one thing I want to say, when you're creating your intentions for 2021, I know that process sounds a little like, whoa, and daunting. It doesn't have to be. You can make this as simple as you want to make it. But I think it's good.
Even as big as that sounded, probably less than an hour of time. Hour of time. That was 2 people working together on a business. Where for you personally, it might be 1 or 2.
Yeah, completely.
Simple things.
Yeah.
Like you had what were some of the examples you gave?
Well, I think one example that I talked about is maybe not just a thing, but if you're just trying to maybe bring more joy into your life, that you're going to look for the joy in relationships, or look for the joy in the things you have to do, or look for the joy, maybe look for it at your job more, look for joy in your coworkers more. Maybe your intention is not a thing or an end goal, but an actual feeling that you want to incorporate more into your daily life.
So here would be a great tool for that, and it's a journal. Kind of like a gratitude journal, but it can be whatever. If your intention is increased love, increased joy, increased whatever, in that journal, you could do it daily, you could do it weekly, you could do it monthly. Whatever feels manageable to you. Where did I find joy today?
Also, I think you gave it a term last night that I loved, an accountability journal.
Right.
To yourself. Like,
it is to yourself.
Where did
and
I
to
find
your
it?
intention.
Where can I incorporate it more? I just think that kind of helps keep you focused throughout the year.
So here's the really crazy and funny thing that I didn't even think about this last night, but it came to me as we've been talking. For several years in a row, my New Year's resolutions, because that's what I called them then, were to increase intentionality in my life.
Oh, here you go.
And and how I thought about it then was I first went through and said that I wanted to be more intentional with my words and my deeds. Right. And I think it was when I look back on it now, and it was several years ago, in today's terms, I'd say I just wanted to kind of focus my energy more. Just focus my energy and intentionality instead of, doing 10 or 15 things a little bit chaotically, be a little bit more intentional with a fraction of that many and put more into them. Mm-hmm. And to choose my words more wisely and thoughtfully. And then as I progressed in my, mind, body, spirit growth, my EnVibe life, I realized that it was even more powerful to be more intentional with my thoughts. And so then I spent a long time working on that. And that's where meditation became a big part. It was through all of these things, but especially with that increased intentionality with my thoughts. And I didn't go through any of that stuff we talked about with the manifestation box, but look at me now sitting here talking about intentionality. So clearly I brought more intentionality in my life, and it's become a very big part of my life.
You definitely did. Mm-hmm. So another tool that we've used in the past that kind of helps with this intention setting is a vision board. Mm-hmm. There are many types of vision boards. I think there's the traditional board where you can kind of take the big cardboard and cut out pictures, in certain segments, put certain things. I've also seen virtual vision boards where you can do video type setups for your vision board, but it's that same concept that Amy talks about for her manifestation box, is that getting into the feeling of it, right?
And make it fun.
Make it fun. What works for you, you know? Mm-hmm. I think you talked about some a practical way that your husband does things.
Oh, well, my husband's a big to-do list person.
Right.
And he is a super goal-oriented person. And I will use the word goal and task-oriented.
Yeah.
And he doesn't like anything to ever be undone. He uses his calendar on his smartphone for that. So he doesn't just put his calendar appointments, which are in there, but his daily to-do list is on there. And sometimes he also sets intentions there. And I'm just going to say that, be nicer to everyone I meet in a day. He'll put that on there so that it's the first thing he sees on his phone in the morning when he checks into his phone. So he starts every single day with that intention.
I want to put that on my refrigerator for my whole family to see that. I just think that's a good.
But again, that was him taking something into what works for him in a way I never would have. And when I look at his phone, it annoys me. Like, that's too much stuff in there. Too much.
I want to see that because I wonder if that tool would work for me to have all of it there, because I'm the type of person that I have 3 different calendars. They all say the same thing, but I have to put it 3 different places to kind of, because might not look at my phone first thing, but I'll look at my paper calendar first thing. But those are different tools: the manifestation box, the vision board, the accountability journal, just different ideas and tools you can have that help you set your intentions for 2021 so that we don't just go into 2021 without having a clear idea or energy behind it being a better year.
And it may have never been more important because so many people as a collective felt so much stress in 2020. And I think would like to see some differences in 2021. So it's a good time to do this. And another thing I want to say is at least suggest, keep it simple.
Yeah.
Don't,
if you make it doable.
If you're a couch potato, don't say you want to run a marathon. Maybe just.
And if you're creative and you want colored paper, go do that if it makes it more fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but you don't have to go from 0 to a marathon.
Baby steps.
Or not, a marathon, and I'm going to learn to cook, and I'm going to start a new business, and I'm going to, just don't stress yourself out with those intentions. So make it to where it feels like it's living and breathing, and you have room to change. And I mean, even when we looked back on 2020 and EnVibe Life, it's a different entity today than we thought it would be a year ago, and a different entity than 6 months before when we had the idea. So, I mean, even then, I think we're so happy with it right now. And so just allowing, we had a lot of intentions or goals, and we're allowing them to flow a little bit and look for signs around us as to what would make sense or maybe be part of God's plan
and follow it. Definitely. So I think that kind of, talks about our intentions for 2021, our tools that we've used to find those intentions and to help us maintain them and stay focused on them throughout the year. So hopefully you can take some of these tools and help yourself, or take some time to be, go in and find what you really want your intentions to be for 2021.
Yeah. And so, I think we want to wish you a happy holidays.
Yes.
Right now,
Happy
we
New
hope
Year.
you're enjoying time with your loved ones. And if you're finding yourself separated from your loved ones, maybe you're finding creative ways to engage with them or spend more time in that personal reflection or something that just makes you personally happy. If you're feeling some sadness right now. And, we wish you all the best in 2021. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to EnVibe Life Conversations. For more information and to join our community, be sure to check out our website at envibelife.com. We look forward to sharing with you.